Hello and welcome to Faye's journey. This is day 18 for me in Ghana. Yesterday I went on a picnic, so myself and Lo had to wait at the hospital gates. It was National Farmers Day yesterday, so loads of people were off work, so this picnic was organised by a whole lot of clinicians, and Lo and I were to be picked up at 8:30, and typical Ghanaian style, it was 9:20. And we're standing at that gate, and Lo's used to the heat, so it doesn't bother him, but I am dripping in sweat. I mean, it's really hot, and the only saving grace was that we were at the main road, and when the cars went past, they're cooling me down. It took 2 hours for us to get to it was a picnic site where we were going to, and in the car it was a driver and 2 nuns and me, and the back of the truck was open and it was stacked up with chairs and tables and barbecues and cool boxes. There were no seatbelts in the truck. There's hardly ever seatbelts in any vehicles that I've been in Ghana, and I've just kind of got used to it, and I'm always grateful when I get out in one piece. But the truck was useful because when we got up north of Kumasi, we had to go off-road to get to this picnic site. And the road it's very dusty. The roads are quite dry when you're not on tarmac. So there's this orange dust billows up, so you can't open the windows. And we were going through a farming area. So there's corn either side growing, and it's quite narrow, so you can't see the road ahead. And it was twisting and turning like that, as well as going up and down like that. And it was like an off-road adventure, which I probably would have enjoyed more had I had a seatbelt on. And that thing at the back of the car that I always hang the jackets on, you're supposed to actually hold it. That's a grab handle. I mean, anyway, because Lo said hold on to that, because my head was hitting off the door and it was hitting off the roof. We went over these lumps and you could see that I was sort of, you just can't brace yourself. You've got nothing to hold on to, but holding that does help if you're ever in the same situation, which I hope you're not. And we got to the picnic site and it was lovely. It was a great big flat area right next to a waterfall, and there was a pool at the bottom. So as the day went on, lots of kids and some of the dads were in the water. And it was a typical picnic, kids running about, playing games, football. There was a group playing of guys playing cards. There was board games, there was music, dancing. 3 or 4 of the women set out one of them was making a soup type dish, one of them was making stew. There was the barbecue. I thought, I wonder who's going to take charge of that, and needless to say, it was a man. He was the only guy that was cooking. He's standing there and he's in control. He was making grilled fish, like whole fish that had been battered. And when it came to lunchtime, that's what was served. You either had goat stew or the soup, which I didn't really fancy. It had bits of fish in it, and or the whole fish. And I do eat fish, but I don't like it when it's got its eye. You know, it's lying at its side and this big eye staring up at you. So I didn't have that. But they made yam chips, which are just like potato chips. So that was nice. And the popcorn, which made me popular with the children. So I had children sitting on my knee and sitting with me for most of the day. And they were drinking, there was local drinks which people had brought. And there was this one, which I don't think I've shown you. It is made from hibiscus, hence the colour. And it's sweet, and they put quite a lot of ginger in it, so it does catch your throat, but it's really nice. And at one point I had a kid sitting on my knee drinking this, and he was very careful with it. He was about 3 or 4, and I thought, I'm going to get that on me. I can just tell it's difficult to drink out a bottle when you're a kid. And sure enough, after he'd finished drinking, he then took his hand, he went like that on my trousers. I was like, right, okay. But it's come out amazingly. It has come out. Maybe because it's a natural food colouring and it's not artificial. It's come out in the wash. So the afternoon went on, and then alcohol started getting served. Some of the guys, they drink Malta Guinness, which is bottled, and then there was another big green bottle, like the Greek beers that you get, and then there was a whiskey called Milestone 100, which is made in Scotland, processed in India, and ends up in Ghana somehow. So the dancing was getting wilder, including our driver who'd enjoyed a few beverages by that point, which worried me slightly for the journey back. But we packed up at about 4:30. It gets dark here at 6, and I think they wanted to get back on that rugged road onto tarmac before it got dark. And the driver was fine going back. It only took us an hour to get back. It'd taken us 2 hours to get there, so I don't quite get that. And when we got back, I was hungry, so I had beans on toast because I had to do something that I felt was traditionally British. It was a great day, another great learning experience.